Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Heather. I am the owner and author behind townsandhouse.com, where we teach you to implement systems and strategies in order to calm the chaos and cultivate simplicity in your home and homeschool. I have three wonderful kids. Their names are Emma, who is 11, Jack is 9, and Lucy is almost 5. Today we are going to be talking about the 2020 prayer journal from Val Marie Paper. I am super excited to go through this with you, and so I am going to flip over to a walkthrough of this planner, and then we will come back and talk about it. So here is the 2020 Val Marie Paper prayer journal. And the first thing that is different is this ruler. This was not part of the planner last year, and I actually really like it. It's just like a plastic, you can't really see it very well. It says pray big on it. But this will be great to keep your place in the journal. Now, there were 3 cover options, and I chose this linen color. This is textured. It is a little more textured than the Power Sheets linen cover. It's very pretty. It's kind of like an oatmeal off-white color, and it actually, I got it because it matched the cover that I'm using for my life planner this year and my teacher planner from Erin Condren. And so when you open up the journal, it does have a little pocket on the inside, which I believe is actually new this year as well. And it says, "Hello, Prayer Warrior." And it has just a note from Val talking about the importance of prayer and how it will help you. And then I really like that she has this way of praying: adoration, confession, supplication, thanksgiving. The reason that I purchased this planner originally was because I wanted to work on my prayer life, and I just did not know how to get started. And I saw this planner and I thought, I really like writing things down. I do better that way. So that is why I got it, and it's really been a blessing. It says when you're feeling stuck, and then it tells you how to use that 4 different areas to sort of get you started in your prayer. Now there are 3 sections. There are prompts, conversations, and gratitude. It tells you at the beginning of each section how to use it and what it is for. So then you move right into your monthly prompts, and it does not separate the months out with a month and then some pages for conversations and some pages for gratitude. It has all of the months up front, which is why the ruler does come in handy so that you can easily flip to where you are. And so each month it has the challenge, your goal, and then it has sections for our world and nation, my community, my loves, my family, sweet friends, people that you want to pray for their salvation, the heavy things, personal, and then your big goals. This planner really works well with the Power Sheets because you can put the things that you're working on for the month of January in here, and it just reminds you to always go to God and just really hone in on those goals and praying for those goals so that you can make progress. And then there are some sections that are not labeled, so you can put your own prayer requests here. And then you can write an adoration and scripture you want to focus on for the month and a quote. And then over here it has a place for answered prayers from the month. So as you're going through your prayer walk and you see that some things are answered, you can then write them down on this page. and then it moves into the next month. And this is how it goes through all 12 months. Right through to December. So once you are at the end of the months, you move into the conversations section. And this is a place where you can write down your prayers. Now, for me, I have noticed that when I sit in silence for too long and I'm trying to pray, it doesn't always go very well. There are always so many things running through my brain, and it is hard for me to slow down enough in order to focus on prayer, which is part of the reason that I got this journal to begin with. So this is a great place for you to write down your prayers. It does not have enough space, obviously, for you to write down a prayer for every day, but you can certainly write down a prayer every few days, or you can also use this as a place for sermon notes. So this is a great place. I also have to write when I am at church. It helps me to focus on the words, and I know that kind of sounds like a squirrel brain, but it is what it is. I do better when I am writing things down. It really cement it into my brain. And so I like that there are all of these lined pages. If you run out of pages, you certainly can, just use a notebook. But there are a significant number of pages here for you to write down prayers or sermon notes or anything, journal anything that you would like to. And then this section is the gratitude section, and she put this in the planner because she had read that 1,000 Gifts book by Ann Voskamp, where she wrote down a gratitude, I think it was 3 gratitudes every day. And so there are enough spaces for you to write down 1,000 things that you're thankful for or grateful for. And I think that is just a wonderful thing to have for yourself and for your family, something that you can look back on throughout the year, because, we all go through trials and difficult times, and during those difficult times, the best way to sort of pull yourself out of it and be able to move on is to think about all of the wonderful things that have happened in your life. And so having it in one location in this prayer journal, it's really, really great. It allows you to put in all of your struggles and where you want to focus for the month, but also at the same time, thank God for all of the wonderful things that are happening. It's very easy to overlook some of those things because they may seem so small, but nothing is really that small, and it does really help. So there are enough spaces, I believe, for you to write like 1,000 things that you're grateful for, which is really nice. Or if you need more space for writing down prayers, you could also use this space for that. So that is the end of the planner, and I will jump back in front of the camera to tell you some of my thoughts about it. So like I said in the walkthrough, this is my second year using this planner. I did not use it to the best of its ability last year. Prayer is something that I have wanted to cultivate a better practice of for a long time, and it's really, really difficult for me. I'm not sure why. I don't think I ever really learned a lot about prayer growing up. I did grow up in a church, and we did pray. We prayed in church services and prayed at meals, but I never had a good prayer practice personally for myself. I would pray, or I would try praying, and then my mind would wander. And this happened for a long time until I figured out that I really needed to write my prayers down, whether I was typing them on a computer in like a Word document or if I was actually writing them by hand. And so I I did try to do that, and I do try to do that. I use the Write the Word journals by Laura Casey from Cultivate What Matters, and I will use the journal space to write out my prayers. But I knew that I wanted to grow my prayer life even more. It was a goal of mine for 2019 to practice prayer in a more dedicated way, and I thought that this would be a big help. I struggled using it at first because I still wasn't exactly sure how I should pray. So there are a lot of videos and helps on the Val Marie Paper website and on her blog that help you to practice prayer and how to start praying. I don't know if it's more effectively, but just giving you a way to pray so that it follows an order and it gives you a way to do those things. Now, I did use the planner, but I think that it can be used so much better, and that is my hope for this year, that I will use it more. But I do really love it. I love this cover this year. It is so pretty and it matches all of my other planners, which is a big thing for me. I know that's so silly, but I do really appreciate that it does match everything. A couple of things that I did not talk about in the walkthrough is that she does have this pamphlet, a practical guide to getting started in order to utilize this prayer journal the best way possible, in the way that it's going to make the most sense. And this is really great for anybody that is struggling with prayer. And I use this maybe even more than I used the journal last year. Just to have a way to organize my thoughts. I think one of the biggest hurdles that I have had personally is that I'm not really sure what to pray for. You know, I want to pray for all of the things, but is what I'm praying for silly? Does it really matter? You know, should I be talking in much broader terms? Am I trying to limit God by praying for very specific things? And so I really struggled with that. And it may sound silly to you, and these are my own personal struggles. Yours may be different, or you may not struggle with prayer. But it was definitely something that I had a hard time with. And this past year with this prayer journal, I think sort of helped move me in the right direction. And so my hope for this next year is that I will continue to improve in my prayer life. And I think that that really is the goal of this prayer journal. It's not to be perfect at prayer, because you're never going to reach that perfect prayer. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but you're never going to reach that epitome of perfection of prayer. That just is not something that happens. So I think that you want to move in a positive direction with prayer, and this is definitely going to help you do that. I really like that it has a section each month for answered prayers, because I think that that is something that maybe we don't acknowledge as much. So each month, at the end of the month, it has a page for answered prayers. And when a prayer is answered, a lot of times it's a positive thing. So we obviously thank God and we're happy that it has been answered, but I'm not sure we dwell on that for all that long. Oftentimes, for me personally, I will continue to pray for all of the other things, and I don't really acknowledge the answers that I have gotten. And so having that place, I think, is really, really good. And I also really like the conversation section because like I said in my walkthrough, I have a squirrel brain. I will start praying and then I will try and be silent and then I will end up thinking about my list of to-dos for the day. It's part of the reason that I write down so many things. It's to get them out of my brain so that I can focus. It's how my brain works. I just have to get it out before I lose it, or I will tend to dwell on it too. So I'm excited about having a place to write down prayers. I do kind of wish there was enough space for me to write down a prayer every day, but I know that that's not really realistic, and it's not realistic in the fact that most likely I will not write a prayer every day. I'm trying to go back and forth on whether or not I want to use it also for sermon notes, because when I go to church on Sundays, I do take notes of the sermon. It helps me to process the message. If I do that every week for the sermon, I'm not sure how many pages I will have left for writing out prayers. So I am going to sort of go through that and try and figure that out, and I will try and put it in the blog post that will go with this video, in case anybody is curious. But I'm really excited about a new year. I'm always excited about a new year. I think there's just something great about the newness, the prospect of all of these amazing things that can happen. And so I am excited to start using this. And I hope that if you are also struggling with your prayer life, or if you're just looking to be more connected to God, that you look into these journals. They are beautiful, and I think that it definitely gives you a place to sort of put everything in one spot. And what a blessing to be able to look back on all of your prayers throughout the year and to see the prayers that have been answered, and maybe some of the doors that have opened and shut in your life. What a wonderful legacy to have for your family and yourself as you go through life. I think that that's such a wonderful, wonderful thing. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know this is a little bit outside of where we usually are with our homeschool videos, but I did want to share this prayer journal because I really, really like it. It's very good quality, and I think that you should take a look at it and see if it's something that you would enjoy using as well for next year. So thank you again for watching, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to help you work through anything that you need help with, or if you have questions specifically about the planner, just let me know. And so we will see you next time. Thanks again for watching, guys. Bye.